Hi guys, Ray here from Women's Football Today. I'm here with Josh Bunting. How you doing, Josh?
Hi Ray, yeah, I'm all good. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm not happy about that wet look of hair you've got at the moment. It's got this
I
wet
know.
look, just a photo of me. We're here, guys. We're here to talk about the Olympic squad. It's the Team GB Olympic squad. It was announced about 7 o'clock this morning. Most of us were still in bed. And I'm going to ask Josh to start off by going through that squad, and then we'll have a chat about it. Do you want to go through it, Josh?
Yeah. So goalkeepers, obviously Karen Bardsley and Ellie Roebuck. Defenders, Millie Bright, Lucy Bronze, Rachel Daly, Steph Houghton, Demi Stokes, and Leah Williamson. In the midfield, Sophie Ingle, Kim Little, Jill Scott, Kira Walsh, and Caroline Weir. The forwards are Lauren Hemp, Fran Kirby, Nikita Paris, Georgia Stanway, and Ellen White. And in reserve is Sandy McKeever, Lotta Wibben-Moy, Neve Charles, and Ella Toon.
I'm guessing Steph Houghton is the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, look, whenever a squad is announced, an international squad is announced, we tend to focus on, we expect most of the names. We tend to focus on who's not been included in the squad rather than who's been included. You'll get a couple of, let's say, contentious decisions. So
Yeah.
let's start off by asking you, Josh, who are you surprised are you surprised that's not been included? Are there any surprising issues there?
Yeah, there's two for me. And there's two big ones for me that I thought were sort of there's nothing there's no such thing as a dead cert, but you would sort of in my own mind I would say Alex Greenwood 100%. I think she had a terrific season at Manchester City, and no disrespect to Demi Stokes, but she's played more than Demi Stokes this year, and Demi Stokes has struggled with injury. So I thought Alex Greenwood would have been in there, and she can also play as a centre back as well if that was needed. So there's that versatile option of a centre back, and obviously her natural position at left back. And Greenwood for me offers a lot going forward as well. From corners, she's great at dead balls, great at set pieces. So that was a big surprise for me. And I think that obviously she won the Champions League with Lyon in 2019-20, but I actually think 2021, when obviously Man City has been one of her best in her career. I think overall her all-round game has been terrific. And then the viewers will see that I'm wearing an Arsenal top. So Jordan Nobbs for me, I can't really believe that she hasn't been included. Yeah, okay. She struggled with injuries this year, and her game time hasn't been as much as what it probably should be. But still, when Jordan Nobbs has played for Arsenal this season, she's been incredible. And I don't know if the viewers have watched Arsenal week in, week out, which obviously I do. And when Jordan Nobbs is in a team, I feel more confident that Arsenal are obviously going to get a result. And again, I mentioned the word for Alex Greenwood, versatile. Jordan Nobbs is versatile as well. She can play as a number 8, obviously in centre midfield. She can go a little bit higher as a number 10, or actually this season she's played as a winger and sort of as a wide forward. Now I don't think this Team GB side need it because they've got Lauren Hemp and obviously Kirby can play in there as well. So they're natural in that position. But as a number 8, as a number 10, and just with her experience as well, I think Nobbs is a huge miss. So those two, Alex Greenwood and Jordan Nobbs, are the two that I'm thinking. If I was Risa, the manager, then yes, I would have selected them. But yeah, they were the surprise omissions from the squad. To be honest, Arsenal fans will say Beth Mead. I wasn't really expecting Beth Mead to make the squad, to be honest, because obviously Risa left her out of the first England squad against Northern Ireland, and yeah, Beth did really well to get back in, but I didn't expect her to get into this squad, and then obviously you've got Beth England as well, but Beth England again, limited game time this season at Chelsea, so that doesn't come as an overall surprise. So to answer your question, the two that really do surprise me is Alex Greenwood, Jordan Nobbs, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with Alex Greenwood. I've seen a player pretty much every game, almost every game this season, and she surprised me with her versatility, left back, centre back. Generally, she's been on the top of her game. I'm a big Demi Stokes fan. Big Demi Stokes fan. And but when I did my team yesterday, starting 11, I didn't have Demi Stokes there. I had Alex Greenwood ahead of her, just for that versatility. So I mean, yeah, I was really surprised. Another thing that's interesting to note, it's an 18-player squad. 11 players are from Manchester City. It's like a mini Man City. This, yes, 2 of them are out on loan. That's Karen Bardsley in goal, and Jill Scott, who's over at Everton. Karen Bardsley's over at OL Reign, I think now, if I'm right, making some good saves. And they left City so that they could have a chance to make this squad, and it's proven to be a good decision. But does it worry you, or does it fill you with some hope that so many players are from Man City, that they actually know each other, they play well with each other? Could that lead to some cliques? There's only 7 players who are not Man City players.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that can work. Because, like you say, they play with each other week in, week out. Obviously, like you said, Jill Scott and Karen Bardsley haven't this year because they have been out on loan, but the majority of players in that squad are from the same club and they train with each other every day. So they'll know each other's strengths and their weaknesses. So I certainly think there is an advantage there, 100%. But again, it may not work because there's a certain style of football that Gareth Taylor plays that Risa probably won't play. So they'll need to do new things. So yeah, like it could work as an advantage and a disadvantage as well. But it doesn't worry me because most of the English national team are playing for Manchester City right now. They don't have as many foreign players as Chelsea, Arsenal, for example. So you pick who fits the criteria, and Manchester City have more of those players than any other top team in the WSL. So you can't really fault that. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised or not that 15 players are from England, 2 are from Scotland, if I'm right, and 1 from Wales? No Northern Ireland players.
No Northern Ireland players, which is obviously I'm from Northern Ireland and I've went to the qualifiers. It is disappointing, yes, of course, but I think you have to sort of look at it and say England have the biggest pool of players, and they've got the biggest population. They've got the biggest pool of players, so it's no surprise. And Scotland, the 2 that have been picked, which I completely agree with, because I think Caroline Weir is outstanding and she's one of my favourite players in the WSL. And also Kim Little, she's a leader. I mean, she's Arsenal's captain. So I like that. Lisa Evans would have picked her. She got injured at the end of the season, so that sort of hampered that. And then obviously Sophie Ingle from Wales. So it doesn't surprise me, no.
Yeah.
To be honest, that.
But obviously, sometimes you've got to look at a team and a squad and say you might have, for argument's sake, the best 18 technical players in the country. But sometimes you want a little bit more. And I watched for example, the playoff game between Northern Ireland and Ukraine. Both games, I was involved with the press conferences and with the players and the manager, listening to everybody. And the grit and the determination they showed there, for me, is valuable. It's got to be worth something. And I actually think that grit, that determination was better than what I saw England play against France. For instance, when England played that friendly and got beat by France, I think it was 3-1. And you think if you had I think this is the wrong word, but I can't think of a better one, a bit more heart in the squad, maybe that would make a difference. So I'm disappointed a little bit, and I know some of the players are, because I've seen it on social media, and that's why I mentioned the Northern Ireland. I just thought, what they did to work so much higher. I think Ukraine are about 25th in the world, Northern Ireland are about 46th or 47th at the time. To punch above your weight, and that's what the Team GB will need to do in Japan. They'll need to punch above their weight if they want to challenge people like the United States.
No, absolutely, they will. And well, our advantage is that Northern Ireland players get a bit more time off over the summer to be refreshed for those the World Cup qualifiers coming up, and then obviously the Euros next summer. Yeah, look, they will need to punch above their weight. The squad, I'll be honest, Ray. When I looked at the squad this morning, I thought it was just a bit meh. Like, it was just a bit, didn't really strike me as being great players. Don't get me wrong, great players, but it didn't strike. And they could prove me wrong and go out to win it, and I hope they do. But it just seems like a side that I don't really think it will do much in the tournament. They really don't. And people could be looking back on this time next year and having a big laugh. But there's something about the squad that I don't know. It doesn't strike me as being exciting, if you know what I mean.
That was my last point, and you've pinched it already. I was thinking it's a very safe squad. You know, you could have picked most of these. There's nothing out of the ordinary. And for example, picking Karen Bardsley over Sandy McIver, you could say that's a safe decision. And picking Jill Scott instead of somebody else in midfield, that's another safe decision. You're going on experience, and I mean, these players are in their mid-30s, so you're going. Yeah. I think if I'm right, I don't want to insult Jill Scott. She's only about 34, but 33 or 34. But there's no one. You could argue that's young and exciting and is coming through late and can be a surprise package in Japan.
No, absolutely, and I would have had Sandy as a goalkeeper. And don't get me wrong, I think Karen, fantastic goalkeeper, and like we used the word experience, but I think if you look on the season, Sandy is she missed a few games, but majority she's been present for Everton, and she's always impressed. Ellie Roebuck would be my number one personally, anyway. But I think for the future, I think Team G should have been based around the future, as well. I think it's wrong of me to say it should be using an experiment because everyone wants to go and win a gold medal, of course. But I think it should have been used as we build for the future, and that's no disrespect to Jill Scott, Karen Bardsley, and players like that. But I would have liked to see, like we said, a bit more risk in the squad.
But do you think that's...
Sandy would have? And Sandy, if she had gone, would have been brilliant.
Do you think that's down to the fact that they've got a new manager who hasn't had probably that much time to have a scan over the players?
I think it's a manager who is there isn't there for a long time. She's there for interim, and it's about instant, immediate success. So this is all building up to obviously Serena coming in from the Netherlands, which obviously on a long-term basis comes September. So I think Hegarisa is thinking, let's go and compete the best as we can for a gold medal. So like you say, she hasn't risked it. She hasn't gone for risks. She's gone for, as you asked me, a safe squad. It's a very safe squad, and yes, there's experience in it, but it just doesn't strike me as being exciting. And don't get me wrong, I'll get up to watch. I'll watch the games, absolutely. Of course I will, but I would have liked to see a bit more youth in it. Like Ella Toon's a reserve, but for me, I would have liked to see her sort of in that team as well. And obviously Sandy would have been my second choice goalkeeper, and Lotte Wubben-Moy, again, Arsenal perspective, people say you're being biased, but that's a young player who's coming through, and no disrespect to, again, the likes of Steph, who is the captain and the leader, and yes, I would have personally taken Steph, absolutely, but players like that would have liked to see likes of Lotte coming, because those players now aren't going to be around for so many more years, but the likes of Lotte Wubben-Moy, Ella Toon, they're really sort of only at the start of their adventure. And I would like to see them getting a tournament in now before the Euros next summer. And then you can build on that and you can develop on that. But it's a safe squad, and I do understand it, because you want to go out and have the best chance of winning the tournament. But I would like to see, personally, from my own personal perspective, I would like to see a younger squad, an exciting squad, and sort of in building for the future. Everybody wants to win the gold medal, of course, but is it the be all and end all? Not really. For me, the focus is the Euros next summer in 2022 and the World Cup the year after that.
But that's for individual teams. I mean, you get your funding if you're going to compete for a gold medal. If you're saying we're looking for the future, you might not get the funding from from the powers that be. I mean, I don't want to say anything out of turn here about Jill Scott, because I'm hoping to go down next week to. She's got an establishment in Northern near Manchester where it's I'm going to call it a cafe, but it's a bit more than that. It's called Box to Box. And I think you do tend to get a lot of players there, a lot of fans going there as well, especially from Man City. So I've got to be careful what I say here. If I turn up there, she might batter me next week if she hears this. But when I look at it, I say, Jill Scott's not going to start. Okay, there's lots of midfielders there who are going to start ahead of her. And if you're chasing a game, do you want to bring Jill Scott on to chase a game, or somebody else? And if Jill Scott's there as a safe pair of hands, or are you worried about injuries? I think that you're looking at that too negatively. You shouldn't be going there thinking we're going to get injuries. We might need, Jill Scott to play a Kira Walsh role or whatever. And I think you've got to go there positively on the front foot and say we're going to win this. And if we're behind in a game or we need a result, I'm not sure bringing Jill Scott on, or rather than a younger player, midfielder, exciting player, creative player, is going to whet my appetite for the game. And of course, I'll be watching as much as possible. We are hoping to have comprehensive coverage of the Olympics this summer. So, you guys out there, if you want to get involved, we are doing probably the biggest exercise we've done on women's football today around the Olympics. It's a big tournament, a lot of interest around the world for this. And to finish off, it's an interesting squad, not too many surprises, and we could have probably picked 16 or 17 names ourselves. But we wish Team GB the best. I mean, we're not here to put a downer on it. I mean, we want Team GB to win the gold medal, of course, and propel women's football in the home nations forward a little bit more, building up, as you say, to the Euros next summer. Josh,
yeah, absolutely.
I've got to say a big thank you to come on at short notice. It's always a pleasure to have you on the channel. And we look forward to your new shows over the summer, because we've got new stuff coming up. Josh is heavily involved, and we'll tell you about it soon. Keep an eye out on social media for what we're doing. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.